Hello everyone, I am Assistant Professor Milan Patel from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. Today we will discuss chapter number 1 Induction Machines from the subject Electrical Machine 2 having a subject code 3150910 of the 5th semester of the BE Electrical Engineering. So today we will cover the equivalent circuit of an induction motor and speed torque characteristic of the induction motor. So now stator equivalent circuit. Stator equivalent circuit. We all know that the stator is supplied with the AC voltage. AC voltage. And here the representation of the equivalent circuit is only for single phase. Okay, so we will consider that this figure is stands for R phase. For another two phases Y and B, same circuit will be there. But only the change is that the supply voltage V1, the supply current I1 apart 120 degree from each. 120 degree for each. So the stator circuit is mainly consist of supply voltage V1, stator resistance R1, stator reactance X1, and due to this supply of V1 voltage, the current I1 will be flow from the R1 and X1, and at that point this I1 is divided into the two currents I2 and I5, current I2 and current I5. So I5 current will be divided further in IC and IM. So now consider this figure. This is V1 is applied voltage, R1 road stator resistance, X1 stator reactance, and this is I1 stator current, which will divided in I0, and I0 is further divided in IW and IM. This is the RC resistance, this is XM, where IW is the working current component and IM is the magnetizing current component, and I0 is called no load current. Which are divided in IW and IM. RC is the core loss resistance, and XM is magnetizing reactance of the stator circuit. This is also for the stator circuit, this is also for the stator circuit. So the I0 is no load current, and it is a combination of the working current component and magnetizing current component. So this is the stator circuit, and this E1 is the induced EMF at induced EMF or final EMF at the stator circuit, which will link with the rotor circuit. This is the apply voltage, and these are the different drops over the stator side. So these drops plus this E1 is equal to V1. So finally we will get E1 resistance or EMF, E1 EMF at the stator circuit, which will link with the rotor circuit. This is the air gap between the stator and rotor. This is the rotor, and this E1 will link with the rotor circuit, and at the rotor circuit E2 dash EMF will be produced, E2 dash, and the value of E2 dash is given by as E2. Complete E1 EMF will not be linked with this rotor circuit because of the air gap. So some loss will be occurred in the air gap, and E2 dash is equal to as E2. So due to this E2 dash, the rotor current I2 dash will be flow from the rotor circuit, and rotor circuit is mainly consist of rotor resistance R2 and rotor reactance SX2, and this is the due to the mechanical loading condition. So now stator circuit. In the stator, the events are very similar to those in the transformer primary. The applied voltage per phase to the stator is called V1, and R1 and X1 are the stator resistance and the leakage reactance for the phase. R1 and X1, R1 is the stator resistance and X1 is the leakage reactance per phase respectively. The applied voltage V1 produces a magnetic flux which links with the stator winding or primary as well as the rotor winding secondary. So the applied voltage V1 produces the magnetic flux which will link to the stator winding as well as the rotor winding too. So as a result, self-induced EMF E1 is induced in the stator winding and mutually induced EMF E2 dash. E1 is the self-induced EMF in the stator side and E2 dash is the mutually induced EMF in the rotor circuit, and it is given by SE2. SE2, and the value of E2 is given by KE1. KE1. So E2 dash is equal to SE2 is equal to SKE1, where K is the transformation ratio. And it is given by V2 by V1 or N2 by N1, number of turns of the rotor divided by the number of turns of the stator. So the flow of the stator current I1 causes voltage drop in I1 and X1. So the equation of the supply voltage is given by V1 is equal to minus E1 plus I1 R1 plus JX1. So this is the simple equation of the stator side. From this we can simple draw our circuit. So V1 is applied voltage, minus E1 is self-induced EMF, I1 is the stator current, and in bracket R1 plus JX1 is the impedance of the stator circuit. When the motor is at no load, the stator winding draws the only current I0, no load current I0, and it is divided in main two parts. First, which supply no load motor losses. First one, which will supply no load motor losses, and it is IW, working component. And second one is the magnetizing component, in which it will set up the magnetic flux into the core and the air gap. So IM will set up the magnetic flux into the core and air gap. So I0 no load component is mainly consist of IW and IM. Now we will discuss about the rotor circuit. So in rotor circuit, R2 and X2 represents the rotor resistance and standstill rotor reactance per phase respectively. So R2 stands for the resistance and X2 is for the reactance, rotor reactance. So R2 is rotor resistance and X2 is the low rotor reactance per phase respectively. But X2 is at standstill condition, means the speed is equal to 0, n is equal to 0, then the reactance is X2. At any slip s, the rotor reactance will be at any speed slip, the rotor reactance will be SX2. So the induced voltage per phase in the rotor is given by E2 dash is equal to SE2, where S is slip and slip is given by NS minus N divided by NS, and again this SE2 is equal to SKE1. Since the rotor winding is short circuited, the whole of EMF E2 dash is used up in the circulating the rotor current I2 dash. So simply we can see that we can write the equation for E2 dash is given by SE2 is equal to SKE1, where S is slip, K is transformation ratio, E1 is self-induced EMF in the rotor stator circuit. So E2 dash is simply given by I2 dash into R2 plus JSX2. So this is for the running condition. This is for the running condition. That's why we have to consider slip as with this rotor reactance. The rotor current I2 dash is reflected as I2 double dash means K I2 dash in the stator. This is the rotor current I2 dash which will reflect on the stator circuit also, which will reflect onto the rotor circuit, stator circuit also. So the phasor sum of the I2 double dash and I0 gives the stator current I1. So due to this I2 dash current, I2 double dash current will be flow here. I2 double dash current will be flow from here, and I2 dash I2 double dash is equal to K into I2 dash, because whenever we will go from stator to rotor or rotor to stator, we have to multiply it with the K, transformation ratio K. So we can simply see that this I2 double dash plus this I0 means no load current will give us our stator current I1. So I1 is made up of I0 plus I2 double dash. Now let's understand the phasor diagram for the three-phase induction machine. So first of all, we have to draw minus E1 induced EMF at the stator side by applying the V1 voltage, and we know that the summation of the I1 R1 and minus E1 plus I1 X1 will give us our voltage V1, supply voltage V1. So this E1 plus this I1 R1 plus I1 X1 will give us our supply voltage V1. Now at 90 degree from minus E1, draw the flux phasor for flux, and we know that in the direction of the flux our current, magnetizing current Im will be there, and on the axis of the E1 induced EMF E1, the working component IW is there, and the resultant of the Im and Iw will give us the value of the I0, So we can simply see that I0 is made up of Im and Iw. Now draw the current I2 dash, and we know that the current I2 dash is in opposite of the our stator current. So this is our stator current I1, and we have to draw simple I2 dash in the third quadrant, and we can put our I2 dash into R2, rotor voltage drop in the rotor resistance. At 90 degree, I2 dash as X2 reactance, rotor reactance, leakage reactance loss. So the resultant of this will give us the value of E2 dash, rotor induced EMF E2 dash, mutually induced EMF E2 dash, and the value of E2 dash is given by S E2, and E2 is given by K E1. So simply this is the angle between I2 dash and E2 dash, and it is given by phi 2. So rotor phase angle, it is called rotor phase angle. Now draw I2 double dash in opposite to the I2 dash. We all know that this is the rotor current, and this I2 double dash is the reflected current of this rotor current in the stator side. So this is the I2 double dash in 180 degree or in opposition with the I2 dash, and the value of the I2 dash is less than, because we have to multiply this I2 dash with the K. So this is the smaller value than the actual rotor current. Now we know that the resultant of I2 double dash and I0 will give us our current I1. So resultant of I2 double dash and I0 will give us the stator current I1. So I1 is made up of I0 plus I2 double dash. I0 plus I2 double dash. So this is the complete phasor diagram of the induction three-phase induction machine, and this is only for one phase. This is only for one phase. For other two phase, same phasor diagram will be there. Now this is the complete equivalent circuit of the induction machine. This is the applied voltage V1, this is the stator current I1, this is the stator resistance R1, this is the leakage reactance X1. Now this current I1 is divided in I0 and I2 double dash. I0 and I2 double dash, where I0 is the no load current, which is further divided in IW and IM. IW is working component, IM is the magnetizing component, RC is the core loss resistance, XM is the magnetizing reactance. Now this I2 double dash is the rotor reflected current at the stator. Now at the end, at the stator, E1 induced EMF, self-induced EMF E1 is there at the stator winding. Now this stator winding is coupled with the rotor winding, and due to this E1, I2 dash current will flow from this rotor circuit. This is the rotor resistance, this is the rotor reactance, this is the load, this is the load resistance, and it is in variable form. It is in variable form. So load resistance RL is given by R2 into 1 by S minus 1. R2 into 1 by S minus 1. We know that in transformer there is no mechanical load is there. So this RL is stands for, this variable resistance is stands for mechanical loading of the induction machine. As we change our mechanical loading, the value of S will be changed. Value of S will be changed depend on the loading condition. So by changing this S, our RL will be changed and this I2 dash current will also change. So this is the complete diagram equivalent circuit for the induction machine. Now speed torque characteristics of the induction machine. So at starting, some initial torque will be there at the speed n is equal to 0. As we will gradually increase our speed, as we will increase speed, gradually increase our speed till the ns, till the ns. Here 1800 is our synchronous speed, and we all know that our induction machine is never run at the synchronous speed. So our graph will be, so consider 20 Newton meter starting torque at the starting condition, and by gradually increasing the speed, our torque will also increasing. Our torque is also in increasing manner till some point, till some point, and after some point, after one point, our torque will gradually very fast in decreasing manner, very fast in decreasing manner. This is the maximum torque condition, this is the maximum torque condition, and it is at R2 is equal to Sx2. Rotor resistance is equal to slip into rotor reactance. Then this condition will be created, and at that point maximum torque will be there, and at speed nearly equal to the synchronous speed, our torque will very negligible. Our torque will be very negligible. So this is the torque speed characteristics of the induction machine. Now again, torque speed characteristics of the induction machine, induction generator and its braking condition. Here, this is the speed in RPM, this is torque in Newton meter. This is the zero torque condition. At above the zero, positive torques are there, and below the zero, negative torques are there. This is the zero speed condition. This is the zero speed condition. This is negative speed. This is the positive speeds. So we can simply observe that this is the zero torque and zero speed point. This is the zero torque and zero speed. So for the motoring action from this point to this point, we can simply see that the torque is also positive and the speed is also positive. The torque and speed both are in positive condition for the motoring action. And for the braking action, we can simply observe that the speed is negative. The speed is negative for the braking action and the torque is in positive condition for the braking action. So for braking, the torque is positive and the speed is in negative. And lastly, for the generating action, the torque is in negative manner. So torque applied to the generator is in negative manner and the speed is positive. The speed is positive. And we can simply see that this is the slip. This is the slip. For speed is equal to 0, the slip is 1. The slip is 1. And at the synchronous speed, we can see that the slip is 0. So from speed increasing to 0 to synchronous speed, the slip decreases from 1 to 0 for the same condition. Again for generating, so the slip range for the motoring action is 1 to 0, and for generating purpose the slip range is 0 to minus 1, and the speed ranges are from synchronous speed to double the synchronous speed. Here synchronous speed is 1500 and this is the 3000, so it is double the synchronous speed. So the generating region is start from ns to 2ns. ns means synchronous speed and 2ns means 2 multiplied by the synchronous speed. So this is the generating region, and in which the torque is negative because we are providing torque to the rotor shaft by some external source. That's why it is in negative manner. And for the braking action, the speed ranges are 0 to minus 1500, 0 to minus ns, 0 to minus synchronous speed, and the slips are 1 to 2, 1 to 2. So this is the torque speed characteristics of the different operating regions of the induction machine, and induction machine will be working in main 3 regions. First one is motoring, second one is generating, and last one is the braking. So these 3 regions are apart from the 3-phase induction machine. I hope you understood today's topic. Thank you.